Today I want to share with you my top 20 list of the most unexpectedly high-paying and lucrative jobs in 2023. So if you think high-paying jobs are all about, corporate boardrooms, software perks, and, being in Silicon Valley, you're in for a big surprise. And this isn't the same kind of list as the mainstream media one where, they show you the top 20 jobs, because in those lists, they just want to show you jobs that are, glamorous, that most people can't even get. But this is the real deal. This is the unfiltered list. I work with a lot of clients who work these kinds of jobs, so I have some insight that most people don't. And when I go through this list, these jobs are not in any order of income. So let's get started with number 20. Pig farm managers. That's right, I said it. Pig farm managers. Overseeing operations of pig farm can fetch you an annual income anywhere between $60,000 and $100,000. I mean, who knew managing our little curly-tailed friends could be so lucrative? The misconception is that all these jobs are about, shoveling muck. That's not true. In reality, this involves a lot of managing staff, ensuring animal health, and optimizing business operations. Now, in all honesty, I did not have a client who was involved with pig farming. I know somebody who does. So, friend of a friend. But moving on here to number 19. Underwater welders. I mean, these people can make anywhere between $100,000 and $200,000 a year, depending on how deep that they have the dive. Now, the misconception is that they merely are just, welding under the sea. I mean, the truth is, it's a highly skilled job, requires proficiency in diving and welding with a hefty dose of courage, because you're going down deep, it's dark, it's cold, there's sharks around, and you're welding. All right, number 18. Elevator mechanics. That's right. I mean, who thought elevator mechanics could make anywhere between $80,000 and $100,000? And you might think that the job is kind of monotonous, but in reality, there's a lot of complex problems. Keeping people safe, and that just the job itself is a very rewarding and fulfilling task. Number 17. Court reporters. That's right. People typing in the courtroom, they earn up to $100,000 a year. And you might think that they just type fast, but in actuality, they're capturing every spoken word with exceptional accuracy, which is just vital, to the court systems. All right, next up, and 16 is air traffic controllers. These people can make anywhere between $120,000 and $170,000. And it's not just about, guiding the planes in. It's a high-stakes role. There's a lot of precision involved and the ability to handle stress. Number 15, commercial pilots. I mean, not all pilots work for major airlines. I mean, some people fly charter planes, they do aerial tours, and you can earn anywhere up between $70,000 and $150,000. And now, is it a glamorous lifestyle? No, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of irregular hours, and I don't even think you're allowed to fly 40 hours a week. All right, number 14, waste management consultants. Who would have thought waste management consultants, pig farmers, but waste management, you can make up to $120,000 a year. And it's not just about garbage, but it plays a crucial role in developing efficient waste disposal systems and, recycling initiatives. It's good stuff. Number 13, Petroleum Engineer. Now, this job can fetch anywhere between $130,000 and $185,000. Misconception is it's all about drilling oil. No, these engineers, they design equipment, they develop extraction methods, and they know about geology, and they know about the impact on the environment. They're so much more involved than just drilling. All right, number 12. International sales executives, earning anywhere up to $200,000, even up to $1 million, literally. If you're in sales, your work goes beyond just selling products. It's building relationships, it's understanding foreign cultures, managing relationships, extensive travel. You might think it's a fancy title for a salesperson, but in reality, international sales is a very challenging role, requires a very strategic mindset and a knack for building relationships. All right, moving on here to number 11, patent lawyers. These professionals, they protect intellectual property, and they can make anywhere between $110,000 and $250,000 a year. The misconception is it's all about complex legal language and arguments and stuff. No, it's a dynamic job. It blends technology, law, and innovation. And in some cases, you almost might need to be an engineer and have a law degree to do it. All right, moving on here to number 10. Aircraft inspectors, salaries up to 120 grand a year. These people, they ensure that the airplanes meet safety standards. Couldn't be more important. Misconception? That's all about paperwork and checking boxes? Absolutely not. It's reality. It's a meticulous job that requires mechanical expertise and know-how and attention to detail. All right, coming in at number 9 are horse exercisers. That's right, you heard it. Horse exercisers. These people can make up to $100,000 a year depending on the pedigree of the horse that they work with. Misconception is it's just, horseplay or horse walking, but it's actually an athletic job requiring knowledge of horse behavior and physical conditioning. Who would have thought? Number 8 might surprise you a bit. Ethical hackers. Ethical hackers can make up to $150,000 a year, and what they do is they help organizations identify and fix security vulnerabilities before the bad guys actually get in. And the common misconception is that it's a shady job, but in truth, ethical hackers are an essential line of defense in this digital modern world that we live in. Moving on here to number 7, we have forensic odontologists. These dental detectives earn between $100,000 and $200,000 a year, just identifying human remains and bite marks. Misconception is that it's all about teeth. It's not. Actually, the field combines knowledge of dentistry, anthropology, law enforcement, so that they can go out and solve these mysteries. Almost sounds like a TV show or something. All right, number 6, a flavorist. Who would have thought, a flavorist? They can make up to $100,000 a year just creating new flavors for food and drinks because, we all get tired of the same flavors that we have. We want some new variety, so we have flavorists. And the common misconception is that it's just all about cooking. But in fact, it's a very science-heavy job that requires a deep understanding of chemistry, sensory evaluation, and knowledge of cooking and taste and all that kind of stuff. It's very complicated. Who would have thought? All right, moving on here to number 5, we have interventional radiologists with an annual income between $350,000 to $600,000. Now, these doctors, they perform minimally invasive procedures using image guidance. Misconception is that they just read scans. Absolutely not. They are hands-on practitioners where they're essentially improving the lives of their patients. All right, moving on to number 4, blasting engineer. They can make up to $130,000 per year. And what they do is they use explosives for construction and mining operations. Very dangerous job. You might think that it's very destructive, but in reality, it's really about controlled. And the safe removal of material and, to facilitate, taking down buildings. And you may have heard the only time you hear about blasting engineers is when they make a mistake. So for every 1,000 times, blasting engineers are doing something, maybe there's one mistake, that's the one you hear about. So they're very safe, they're very controlled in what they do. All right, moving on to number 3 is a prosthesist, which is a professional who can make up to $120,000 a year by designing and fitting artificial limbs on people. The misconception is that it's just a technical job, but in reality, the professionals also provide emotional support to rehabilitation patients, because when someone loses a limb, it's not just about, hey, stick a new one on and you're on your way. There's a lot of emotional support there, because when you have a loss of limb, it's detrimental to anyone. All right, moving on to number 2. Power line installers. So power line installers can make anywhere between 75 and 150 grand. Now these people basically make sure that the juice keeps flowing all throughout the country. Misconception is that you need to be big and strong, but absolutely not. It's a job that requires a good understanding of electrical systems, safety protocols, and then you need to be able to understand how to implement the designs for these, because it's not like we just run wires from here to here to here. There's some strategy involved in that, and there's a lot of design work. All right, and lastly, number 1, Pediatric Anesthesiologists. These specialists can make up to $700,000 a year just putting little babies to sleep or little kids to sleep so we can do surgery on them and make them better. And it's more than just putting kids to sleep. I mean, the reality is that, while someone is sedated or they're under, they have to monitor all their vital signs, they have to manage the pain, they have to ensure that they have a safe recovery, and all the time that child is underneath anesthesia, they're keeping a very close eye on that. So if there's anything wrong, they can take action, and they can, either take the IV out, or, whatever it is they do. But it's constantly monitoring that patient, while they're being sedated. And there you have it, my friend, the top 20 most unexpectedly high-paying jobs of 2023. So the next time you think about lucrative careers, remember, it's not just Wall Street or Silicon Valley. I mean, your dream job could be something you've never even considered. And with a lot of these positions that I covered, not all of them require extensive education. I mean, you could, if you wanted to become a power line installer, or if you wanted to become a pig farmer, or if you wanted to become an underwater diver, these are all more attainable. Now, obviously, if you want to be a anesthesiologist or something, a pediatric anesthesiologist, that's going to take a little bit more time. But there's so many more opportunities out there. And the reason I didn't include creators, like people who have YouTube channels, who make a lot of money, or TikTok channels, or whatever the influencer market is, it's because those people represent such a tiny fraction of all the jobs that are out there that actually pay money. I mean, if you were to look at how much people make on YouTube, whatever, however they're making money, however they're selling stuff with ad revenue, products, you're going to find that this many people are making money on YouTube, this many are not. But with all these professions, if you are in any one of these professions, the pay gap is going to be much more narrow from just from entry level to senior. But when you're an influencer or something like that, the pay gap is going to be much wider. Same thing with entrepreneurs. I mean, entrepreneurs, they could make, $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million. But also at the other end of the spectrum of entrepreneurs, they're making zero. So it's all over the board. And that's why I didn't include those in this list, because, just the pay gap is just so wide. I wanted to give you something that was more specific, that, where the pay gap was a lot more narrow. So it's more tangible. And it's a lot easier to get into. I mean, literally, you could probably go learn how to be a petroleum engineer and make $200,000 faster than you could become a YouTube creator. Or, hey, if you're really good, you might be able to become that YouTube creator, that next Mr. Beast or whoever, and make $1 million a year, in 2 months. But that's just a flash in the pan, and that's just wishful thinking, and it's not so much of a set plan. All right, my friend. Hope you found this helpful. That's all I have for you, and I wish you all the best on in your next career, or your job interview, or whatever the next step for is in your life. And subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.